Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry.
Hello. What's your name?
Rich.
Like last letter? Pleasure to meet you.
Alexis.
I'm
Nice to
gonna
meet
go by
you.
B.
Andre.
Andre and Alexis.
Alexis, yes.
Awesome.
So AAC.
Yeah.
You're like a trio.
Yeah.
I like it.
So,
So this is live.
yeah, it's live right now.
Hi, everyone.
See, everybody's talking.
Right on.
And we've been funneling a bunch of questions.
Okay.
So we got questions. Do you want to start?
Yeah. So obviously a new look for the medal uniform.
Yes.
Have you imagined like what that moment, hopefully, will be like when you guys are on that podium, representing the country? You've got the national anthem going. Like, how would that be like? Have you imagined it?
Well, having been on the podium before and stepping up and hearing the anthem and having the Olympic gold medal put around your neck, it's an incredible moment. It's probably the most powerful moment that you can have as an athlete in general. The work and the dedication and the commitment to the objective, in my case soccer, because it's a team sport, this collective cohesiveness of the whole team coming together for one goal it's incredibly powerful. And to be able to stand up there with your best friends and your teammates and you look around and know that your family is in the stands and you hear that national anthem, it's incredible. And to be doing it in something so nice, I'll tell you that when I stood up there, they were nice, but let me tell you,
I know. I like the new piece on the shoulder.
so good.
It shows the
USA.
Right?
I like that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And the medal is going to go really nicely right around the collar. It's going to be beautiful.
Let's see. Someone wanted to know, what team are you looking out for specifically in the Olympics to play against?
I think you always have to look at the team you just played in the World Cup, which is Holland, and England are coming up, and I don't know if I should say coming up. They've been around now, and they've been making incredible amounts of progress, not only in their professional leagues at home, but the players are around the world, really making a name for themselves. And so I think England is another team that you have to watch out for. You can't overlook the home team in Japan. They surprised the U.S. once before, and can't be surprised twice. This is what I'm going to say right now. Warning. But honestly, the great thing about the Olympics is it's a small tournament, and the competition is really high. And so if you think beyond the first round, you could find yourself in trouble. So stay within each game, play it one game at a time, and then when it's the knockout rounds, you can start thinking about the potential for winning a medal.
On that note about the Olympics, how would you compare that to other huge global events such as the World Cup? Obviously, you're still sort of playing, for your country, for your teammates. But would you say that the gravity or the style is any different, personally for you?
I think that's a really fun question to answer, because people ask me, what's better, the Olympics or the World Cup? And they're completely different. And I say that because the World Cup is a standalone soccer event. But the Olympics is every incredible athlete around the world coming to be their best at one time and in one place. And so it has a different feel. I think walking through the Olympic Village is, for the first timers out there, it's just an amazing wash of color and language, and even meals and things that are put out in the cafeteria. It's like the flags are flying and the houses have the athletes hanging out the windows, and it's an incredible atmosphere. I love them for different reasons in different ways, but I think the Olympics certainly, have captured the imagination and the hearts of people around the world since the inception of the Olympics. Yeah. And so it holds a very special place, I think, in terms of athletic events.
Given that it is a global and very captive audience, I'm just wondering, specifically for the women's team, which has found so much success at the World Cup, how to sort of keep that winning streak alive, but at the same time,
Because it feels so good. It's like, damn, I want to
Yeah.
do that again.
but at the same time, sort of like the agenda of sort of the larger issues at hand about the equality between the sort of like the men's team and the women's team that has really had a huge spotlight at the World Cup. But this seems almost like an opportunity to sort of stitch that narratives together and remind people like that we still have a lot of way to go.
Well, I think with the winning of the World Cup and the stadium chanting equal pay, I think people understand where we are in this time with women's sports, and it's not just women's soccer. It's across the board. All the athletes you see here today, we're singing the same song. We've been brave, we've been courageous, we've been hardworking, we've shown our grit and our determination, and we've given you all that we can on the field, and we show you we're champions. And we will continue to do that. I think the message now is out to the population. The population has grasped it, and they understand how powerful it is. The athletes will go to the Olympic Games with the objective in mind, which is to win the gold medal. And they can park the other things to the side in the moments that they need to, and they can rise to the occasion in moments like this when media is present and we have a chance to talk about things. But that's the undercurrent, right? When we do our jobs and we respectfully go into competition with a champion's demeanor and respect, that speaks about who we are and why, raising, whether it's pay or raising awareness or opportunity, it bubbles to the surface.
What can we do as fans of the sport, also as viewers, as spectators, as consumers too, to support that cause? Because I think it's one thing to be sort of like moved by the superheroes that are on the stage as yourself, but like what do fans of the game do, and what would you like to see like from us?
Well, I think always buy a ticket. On the simplest grassroots level, it's bring a girl to a game, buy a ticket, bring her to see what the potential can be. I mean, we're talking about a company like Nike who has a global reach, right? And we're talking about innovation and helping the youngest and the oldest of the professional athletes and the grassroots players be their best. And both are incredibly important. And so showing her or him that they matter. Just coming and being a part of the environment says a lot. I tell fans all the time, like, without you, this doesn't work. We're playing by ourselves, so your presence makes a huge difference. The cheering that happens, it really saturates the athletes. I mean, whether they want to admit it or not, it makes a huge difference. 2, if you own something, support young girls. If you have a chance to sponsor something, if you can become a coach, you become a mentor. We all have the power to do something. I think sometimes we think it's only those people over there that can do it. We really all individually can pick up the torch and, in our own community where we live, make a difference. And who knows, you have one of those girls or one of those boys that leave that environment, all of a sudden the ripple goes out and they're making huge change. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what I would say.
Amen.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Olympic Village, you were talking about like the sights and the sounds, but being in Tokyo, I think food is, of course, at the top of everyone's mind. Like anything that you're just like craving now that the Olympics have finally returned back to Tokyo. I think over like 40 years or something, right? Like, what are the spots you're going to be seeing? Like, what are the foods that you're salivating for?
Well, I think anytime for me, going to I've been in 3 Olympic Games. One here in the U.S., Sydney, Australia, and then Athens, Greece. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for the world to meet Tokyo and Japan, maybe for the first time in a way that's authentic and real. And I played 1 year of professional soccer in Japan, so for me it's like a return to a place that has a very, very important place in my heart. And it's a great culture with wonderful people. They're gentle and they're kind, and their food is exceptional. And I mean, I love a good bowl of ramen, I'm not going to lie. But, just trying things, genuine sushi and a nice ramen in a shop that's got 10 seats, and just taking in the sights and the sounds and being a part of like having a mochi or something that's not normal to you. I think that's what brings the world closer together.
Having seen the profound effect that not only the USC team, but you mentioned, having played in Japan, like the game really saw tremendous growth after the success of Nadeshiko, like the Japanese team.
Yeah.
What would you say to a young person that is watching you guys play on a global stage that you want to really take home with them?
I mean, I think the message is the same whether they're watching the elite players or they're going out to their own practice. It's like, be your authentic self and be unafraid to put your whole self out there. Like, as athletes, we have decided that we will be evaluated, right? We're going to be evaluated every day. We have a coach, we have fans, we have skeptics, we have believers, and you have to be able to, at the end of all of that, look at yourself at the end of the day and say, I gave everything I had. And if you do that, then you'll always be satisfied with the outcome. You might not have won the game, but you know that the input you gave was honest and true. And I want to empower young girls to be strong and to be courageous and boys. I have 2 boys, so I want my sons to be like that too. I want them to take risks, and I want them to be compassionate. And I think that's something we don't talk about in sports a lot, but I think that's something we can talk about here today with Nike, because if we're talking about compassion between athletes, and we also have to talk about compassion with what we're wearing. And I'm wearing a suit that's sustainable, and my shoes are recycled, and the fact that our footprint is getting smaller is really critical to the influence that we have on the rest of the world. And innovation can be life-changing, but it can also be life-changing in a way that makes less of a mark than it has in the past. And so I think that's something that this Olympic Games, I think the last Olympic Games says, hey, we're the best, and now this Olympic Games can say, we saw what you did, and we're going to even take it a step further.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
We're getting pulled.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Pleasure.
Lisa's ready.
Okay, here, Andre, you want to take this? I got to the bathroom. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'll grab it.
Switch it. Yeah, there's switch it.
She doesn't have a ton of time.
Okay.